Hey everyone, how we all doing? Okay, so emotions at the door. I will start off by saying I will not be showing any of his racist content, his sexist content, but I will be discussing it. First of all, I'm going to make an apology. Now, most of you know I don't make apologies unless I really need to. And when I do, I try to make it a half-decent apology at least. I put up some footage last night. I spent a couple of hours getting footage together, sorting it all out, arranging it all in a video, and missed a dox. So Marissa, that was my mistake, I missed it, and I apologise. I'm sorry that I did that. I will make sure to be more careful in the future. So for that, I am sorry. But what I'm not sorry for is exposing you. Now, as I said, I'm not going to go into your husband's racist comment or his sexist comments on screen. I think people have seen enough of that to last them a lifetime, and enough people have been affected by it already. Now, I do believe that you do support your husband in what he said, and I'm going to explain why. And actually, I'm going to show you why. First of all, I want to go into one or two things. Right, let me just share this screen a second. There we go. I don't think I don't need audio, but I'll put it on just in case. Okay, so I went to your page today, and you had a very long post. I'm sorry I'm not going to read it all. It's just you saying that you do not condone what your husband has said. There was a couple of comments that I wanted to discuss, which I'm not going to bring them up on screen because I'm not involving subscribers into this. There was one that asked you about your husband doing blackface, and you said that he done it 3 years ago, you said? Around about 3 years ago. The only problem being George Floyd died the 25th of May 2020. So please explain to me how he done it 3 years ago. 25th of May 2020, George Floyd was killed. And just to make sure I got that right, I'm going to bring that up too. '26/05/20. No. Okay, down here. Right. May 25th, 2020. So, no, he didn't do blackface 3 years ago, Marissa. He done it 1 year ago. And as someone said to you, this will come back on you. They will affect both you and your children. It's sad and it sucks, but it's true. And like I said, there's 3 reasons I believe that you are condoning what you did. And I'm going to go into those right now. This one, yeah. Okay, so if we go to the video that Dean did, and I'm going to go to the one that is really gross. I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to go straight down to the comments. There you go. 4 hearts. Nice. Considering you don't condone what you said about poor Gabby. Take that back. And I'm going to go to his community. Oops. No, I really don't want to see his face a minute. Community tab. Oh, look, the picture of the ex. Yeah, what your husband said about the ex was disgusting, by the way. Absolutely vile. Okay, so I'm going to go to that one. And again, I'm going down to the comments. Looks like he blocked you. I don't see a comment. Laughing emoji. What a bitch. He can't handle a real man. Nice. So you don't condone anything your husband's done then, do you? Because, honey, in most people's world, that's condoning what your husband did. So that's 2 out of the 3 things. Before I go on to the 3rd thing, I'm going to talk about what I think is disgusting. Your husband believes that because an officer was nice to a lady, that means they slept together. No. We as a community, women all around the world, men and women all around the world, believe the police officers need to be more sympathetic in regards to mental health and how fragile a person can be in the presence of a police officer. This is now being reflected by police officers who are in training to be kinder when someone is hyperventilating, to be more considerate of a person and their mental health while in their company. This officer was very kind to Gabby. He sat her in the backseat of his car. He asked if she wanted air conditioning put up any higher. And he went about doing what he had to do that day. Maybe he took the wrong call. We don't know. And we're not going to know. We can't dwell on that. We have to move on. I'm sure that officer is probably beating himself up more than enough. And honestly, the way he was with Gabby was lovely. Recommending she takes a nice long shower to help her to relax for the night. It was extremely kind of him. What more could you say? He was extremely kind, extremely considerate to both Gabby and Brian. I wouldn't say that he was harsh on either one, to be honest with you. But there's that. And then the final reason I think you're okay with what your husband's doing. I'm going to need to share the screen again. Nope, not that. We've done that one. Okay, so what we have here is a recording. It's a fake interview where Dean's ex-wife pretends to be Sue Nice's ex-wife. Now, the first voice you're going to hear is Dean's first wife. The second voice you're going to hear, you're going to recognize it as Marissa's voice. Now, let me just say, I brought this up to Marissa. She says there is nothing wrong with pretending to be somebody else. There's nothing wrong with pretending to be someone else as long as you're not trying to label someone a predator, which you and your husband have been set out to do from day one with this person. I've looked back at videos, and the only person this has come from is your husband.
With his son, he claims that he pays.
We went over that yesterday. He does not.
So when the stories about him shitting his pants, is that because he got in the ass?
I believe so.
So I figured I'd call you and find out about his own relationship with his own kid.
He has no relationship. Even when we were married, he paid no attention to my son. He paid more attention to my son's friend.
Right, so we don't need to listen to the first wife who's talking. The more important one right now is Marissa. So I am going to step forward. Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about your new husband. How is that whole thing going? I know last time when we talked, you had stated that your son calls him dad and doesn't even really consider Chris to be his father at all. Is their relationship going good with your new husband and your son still?
Oh yeah, they have a very good relationship. He does call him dad. He doesn't even think about Chris or call him dad or even talk about him anymore.
Well, that's good. I'm glad he's at least got a good father in his life, a good role model, as opposed to the bad example that unfortunately that Chris was to him for years. Now, tell me a little bit about the troubles that he went through at school, being made fun of by the children and stuff because his father was online entertaining 13-year-olds.
But Marissa doesn't support what her husband does online, does she? No. No.
On YouTube.
He had a really rough time in school. Kids made fun of him and bullied him because his dad was on YouTube making a fool of himself, and our son had to deal with the backlash of that.
Right, so people made fun of him, bullied him, to the point where I believe
You could almost be talking about your own children, Marissa. Because people will know that your husband is online doing these kind of things. And sadly, we live in a world where people don't only look at the person involved. They look at their surroundings. And birds of a feather stick together. Okay.
you said you had to take him out of school his senior year and even homeschool him.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a shame. Now tell me about the time that he actually was beating both you and your son with a broom.
Yep, he went crazy out of nowhere because he was drunk and high, and he started chasing us with the broom and hitting us with it until we had to hide.
Several months later.
He keeps bringing this garbage up about me not leaving his son.
So, with that in mind, can we still hold the position that Marissa doesn't condone what her husband is doing? I don't think we can. Now, I know there is another person who's had issues with Marissa I was going to bring those footages in, but I decided not to. I don't want it to make this an excessively long video. I don't want it to go on for like an hour or something like that. So I'm going to end it, to be honest with you. But as you can see, this is where I feel that she does support her husband in what he does. And I think that is evident enough. Now I could show you a video where someone is asking the husband, how is he going to stop, how is he going to make up for all the trolling he's done and the lives that he's ruined. Your behaviour is beyond representable, being downright criminal, Dean. We know you've stalked people and their families and businesses, but you've also made terroristic threats. You have threatened violence, arson, kidnapping. Wow. Wow. So, that's the type of guy that anyone would want around their kids. But that's just my opinion. And then you got one where he's talking to someone who he keeps telling him to call dad. So I'm going to guess that this is his son by the word in. Where he asks him, did you say that someone's child shouldn't come out of surgery? Now, I know that that is going to really, really drive me up the wall if I watch that, so I'm not going to. And I'm done with sharing. I think more than enough has been shared, especially on these two. So, he's a piece of crap, and she supports him, clearly. No way of denying it, really, is there? You know, she talks a lot about Dad Challenge podcast, Sloan, Radiant Brit, who I also speak about, who I also think are total trash. But you know what? I've never ever seen any of those attack a DV victim. No, once I ever saw those three attack someone who is no longer here because of DV. Never. Believe me, I think they're trash. Josh sits there and he tears women apart. He berates women. He tries to make them look stupid. Never once, not once have I ever seen any of them attack a woman who is no longer here to defend herself. I wonder why that is. Anyone fancy taking a guess? Because in reality, they wouldn't stoop to those levels. This is not shock culture. This is not comedy of anything. This isn't trolling. This isn't comedy. This isn't shock culture. This is vile. Vile behavior for a vile human being. And if they had any common decency, they would both be making an apology to Gabby's family. Anybody with any inch of common decency would be making an apology to Gabby's family. Because he tagged her name in his video. And they were thanking people from online searching to find her. So when a tag of her name comes up, they probably go look at her. Can you imagine losing your daughter, clicking a tag, and that comes up? I couldn't. It would be the death of me. That was my child. Then again, I'd probably come looking for you. I would probably hunt that person down. Because my child is my life. My children are my life. And if I had lost one of them and then that popped up, there wouldn't be no stopping me. But I'm getting a little excited, so I'm going to end it there. I want to say thank you to everyone who watches. I want to thank you for your support. And again, I'm going to end this with an apology for doxing Marissa. It was never my intention to dox her, only to prove that I thought that she supported what her husband's doing. So I'm sorry. I will make sure in the future I am more careful. And I can only grow from this. Again, thank you for watching. Please hit that like button, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. And I shall see you soon. Have a great night, people. Bye.